Annenberg Media's Cheshire takes a closer look at the plan to reopen California in the final edition of Questions in Quarantine.
Newport Beach decides against shutting down beaches after a sharp rebuke from Governor Newsom.
Joe Biden secures an important endorsement for his campaign to become the next president.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
We are considering the prospect of an even earlier school year into the fall, as early as late July, early August.
Governor Gavin Newsom is starting to talk about how to reopen schools in California. Good evening. I'm Nathan Hyun, reporting from Seattle.
And I'm Genevieve Glass, reporting from West Hollywood. The governor's statement comes just as California passes 40,000 cases of coronavirus. In Los Angeles County alone, there are over 20,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and 1,000 deaths. The number of deaths doubled in the past week, and nursing homes alone account for around 40% of all deaths in the county.
The United States passed a grim milestone today with over 1 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus. The U.S. is the first and only nation to report coronavirus cases reaching 7 figures and is home to nearly a third of all cases worldwide. About 57,000 Americans have died from the virus. The nation's daily new case rate continues to show signs of decline. Last Monday saw a confirmed case increase of 3.3% throughout the country. Yesterday, new cases increased by only 2.2%.
Governor Newsom announced that California might look to have schools begin their academic year early in order to make up for lost time caused by COVID-19. The governor's comments come a day after LAUSD Superintendent Austin Buettner assured parents that schools would not reopen until widespread testing was in place. We spoke to a parent of a third grader and an LAUSD board member for their reaction.
If they say that schools can start up earlier, not September, but actually July, I'm up for that. I'm up for that because I feel like they need structure. They need to get back to normal. We don't want to admit it sometimes. We're animals. We are pack creatures. We need to be around each other physically. So I think being back in school, if it starts up early, but obviously, like I pointed out, I want to make sure that there are some kind of test in some way that we can all make sure that the kids stepping in, the teachers stepping in, everybody is testing negative for the virus. And then absolutely, they should be running around and back to what they were doing before. I'd love that.
We have 1,000 schools in the densest urban part of California here in LA. And so it would be irresponsible to open schools until we have that system of testing and contact tracing in place, until we have sign off from public health officials. So that's likely going to be in the fall, if then. But in the meantime, we're planning for a robust virtual summer school and continuing to make sure we meet the needs of students throughout this crisis.
Welcome to Questions in Quarantine. Now, last week we talked about what reopening might look like. This week we're going to talk about the road to get there. Today's question in quarantine is, what will it take to start reopening here in California? Now, Newsom talks about all these indicators in terms of green, yellow, and red, just like a stoplight. The more that are green and yellow, the closer we get to being able to modify the stay-at-home order. Governor Newsom has set out 6 indicators to watch that will define when California reopens. The first indicator is testing. The governor requires that we have the capacity to test, contact trace, and isolate people who have been exposed to the virus. Currently, we don't have the capacity to test everyone, and contact tracing solutions are still in very early stages of development. The second indicator is the ability to prevent infection for those who are at severe risk from the virus. Currently, some of the worst outbreaks are in nursing homes, which have some of the highest risk patients. The third indicator is how well our healthcare system is equipped to handle surges. Right now in Los Angeles, county officials say the outlook has improved. They now think the current number of ICU beds will be enough to handle any surges. The fourth indicator is the availability of therapies for the virus. Now, development of these drugs is still in the early stages, but Newsom says that multiple California-based biotech firms are working on possible therapies. It's too early, however, to tell if any of them are going to be effective. The fifth indicator is the ability of businesses, schools, and childcare facilities to support physical distancing. Now, there are no guidelines yet that show what businesses will have to do to reopen, but Newsom says the state is looking at moving up the school year to make up for gaps in education caused by the pandemic. The sixth and final indicator is that the state needs to be able to reinstate the stay-at-home orders if possible. This means they need to be able to communicate to the whole population of California on a moment's notice, and that we need to go back to self-quarantining.
6 indicators. When those turn green, when they move from red to yellow, it guides our decision-making and allows us to make determinations. Dates don't, but data does.
Now, we're not out of the woods yet. This last week saw COVID-related deaths in LA County double, and we're nowhere near the green on a lot of these indicators. But they give us something to watch as we all anxiously wait to get back to doing the things we're used to in our everyday lives. That's it for Questions in Quarantine. Back to you guys.
Amid the uncertainty of COVID-19, Harvard University says it will be open in the fall, but it is not certain what classes will be online and what might be in person. In a memo to the campus community, Harvard Provost Alan Garber said, quote, "The consequences of any major decision for a large and complex university like Harvard are themselves complex and highly uncertain. The most important decision is a clear one. Harvard will be open for fall 2020.
I think I was actually pretty surprised that they told us that this early. So I guess everything considered, they've been doing an okay job of keeping us informed.
I think it's definitely not going to be, I think, the experience that any of us imagined for our college years and taking college courses. If we have to stay home and have remote classes in order to keep people safe, I think it's tough, but I think that's what we have to do.
In an email to USC students late this afternoon, the Provost's office says that plans for the fall semester will be announced within the next 2 months. The email also included the following details. There are no plans to issue prorated tuition refunds to students as a result of the cancellation of in-person classes this semester and during the summer. Also, the dean's list for this semester will be suspended, and both summer sessions will be completely online.
I'm Tony Ravelis reporting from Pico Rivera, California. Millions of Americans are filing for unemployment because of the coronavirus, but some jobs are in greater demand than others, and that includes online tutoring. I spoke with one tutor who says she's been helping a lot more students over the past couple of weeks. Gabby Gutierrez is an instructional aide at a continuation school. She's also been a private tutor for 15 years. Since schools have closed, she has noticed an increase in demand for her tutoring skills.
Doubled. It's actually doubled due to my students not having their teachers around. My parents are looking for a private tutor, and I'm so happy to be here and with open arms, And
okay, I'm going to quiz you now. Are you ready with your sight words?
Yeah. According to Technovo, a market research group, online tutoring has the potential to grow by nearly $13 billion during the next 4 years. Gutierrez's hours at the continuation school have completely stopped, but now she's busier than ever tutoring at least 40 hours a week.
I work from 8 to noon. I give myself an hour lunch break, and then I start tutoring from 1 to 9 o'clock at night.
With the stay-at-home order in effect, she now meets with her students through Zoom. When schools start to meet in person again, Gutierrez says she's confident her students will still come to her because of the bond they created. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tony Ravelis.
The Newport Beach City Council held a special meeting this afternoon to discuss what changes need to be made to ensure social distancing at beaches.
Of paramount interest for us is to ensure the community, the safety of our community and our residents here. And so if the beaches are to continue to be open, and particularly for this next weekend, we are very much prepared to step up our presence to make sure we're actively managing the flow of traffic and pedestrians, particularly in our beach area specifically.
Images of crowded beaches triggered a sharp rebuke from California Governor Gavin Newsom, who called the beach behavior, quote, what not to do. A health expert talked about why people may not be taking lockdown seriously.
It does seem a little inappropriate. I think people are underestimating the risk of transmission by getting together in crowded places. I think that's the whole purpose of social distancing. I think there's a perception being outdoors at the ocean, is not as likely to be infectious. I think it's going to take an increase in infection rates to make people think twice. Now, I better go back to how tentative and conservative I was 2, 3, 4 weeks ago.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott plans to allow the state's stay-at-home order to expire on Thursday.
These are decisions that are the result of tremendous input by the best possible medical team. And we would not be making a decision to open up Texas without that medical advice.
But multiple theater chains say they have no plans to reopen that soon. AMC, Cinemark, and Alamo Drafthouse are all planning to reopen closer to midsummer. In a statement from Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, they said, quote, "Opening safely is a very complex project that involves countless new procedures and equipment, all of which require extensive training. We will not be opening this weekend."
The pandemic has changed our daily lives for the worse. But as USC professor of environmental studies Shannon Gibson says, there may be two winners: animals and the environment.
There's been a clear drop in air pollution. Globally, we're seeing some pretty significant drops in greenhouse gas emissions. The third sort of thing that we're seeing that's been pretty popular on social media are the images of animals returning to green spaces. So I think it's going to cause a great sort of shift in rethinking on a lot of people on potentially the United States could re-engage in some of these global talks about climate change to focus on these longer term concerns.
Hey everyone, Evan Falstrup here, reporting from Malibu. So former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton endorsed Joe Biden today in a virtual town hall meeting.
So I've been not only a colleague of Joe Biden's, I've been a friend. And I can tell you that I wish he were president right now, but I can't wait until he is, if all of us do our part to support the kind of person that we want back in the White House.
We asked the VP of USC College Democrats for her reaction.
And I think that with Hillary being there, it does remind people a lot of what we lost and what we could have had. And so seeing that, I do think will ignite some more fire within people.
Trump's campaign manager said today in a statement, quote, "President Trump beat her once, and now he'll beat her chosen candidate," end quote. Back to you guys.
I'm Sylvie Sparks reporting from Los Angeles. Professional sports leagues are starting to implement new rules and return plans amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The NBA announced yesterday that it will not reopen practice facilities until at least May 8th. The guidelines say that no more than 4 players would be allowed in a facility at a time, no coaches could participate, and no scrimmages are allowed. Major League Baseball is allowing teams to refund fans for games currently not being played because of the coronavirus outbreak. Games were originally considered postponed instead of canceled, allowing teams to hold on to the money they got from ticket sales. Now that the MLB still doesn't have a start date for the 2020 season, the league has decided to allow refunds. Teams are not required to offer refunds and can announce their new policies starting Wednesday. Other leagues could follow in the MLB's footsteps as sports continue to be delayed. Pomona Pitzer's senior forward Jack Boyle made the shot of his life to make school history. But then the coronavirus had other plans. Here's Trevor Denton on how Boyle had his last season derailed.
And now it comes to 2.2 seconds at the Woodpeck Center to see who keeps dancing. Who goes on to the Sweet 16? Long pass. It's up and it's in unbelievably. Jack Boyle hits a buzzer beater.
When I released it, I didn't know like right off the bat it was gonna go in. I was like, it felt good, but I was like, there's a chance, but I was like, I don't have no idea. But when it went in, I was like, I literally the first thing I went through, I was like, oh my god, I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Jack Boyle had sent Pomona Pitzer to their first Sweet 16 in school history. The moment even went viral on social media, getting over 165,000 views on TikTok.
Probably the best moment of my life, to be honest. Like, as a basketball player, as a kid who grows up playing the sport, that's something you dream about.
A week later, his team was set to travel to Chicago, hoping to make a splash in the next round. But then the news broke. Due to the coronavirus, the rest of the Division III tournament would be canceled.
So we kept refreshing it, and then of course it popped up literally like probably 90 seconds to 2 minutes before we would have taken off. But we were able to alert the flight attendants, and luckily they were able to take us back to the gate, so we didn't have to fly all the way to Chicago for our next game. But yeah, that was just really just a weird experience. It didn't set in like right there in the moment.
That buzzer beater ended up being the last second of his college career, and the last time he would play with some of his best friends.
I mean, yeah, when I look back, when I'm way older, it's just going to be, wow, like I'm so fortunate to have made the friendships that I made that are going to continue for the rest of my life because of this sport.
Now, like hundreds of thousands of college seniors, Jack is at home trying to finish his degree online. His dream is to work in an NBA front office someday. For Annenberg Media, I'm Trevor Denton.
And that's all we have for sports. This was Sylvie's and my last time anchoring together. Thank you so much for tuning in throughout the semester. Have a great summer. Stay safe and healthy. Back to you.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it an alien from outer space? None of these questions are answered, but plenty of questions remain after the Pentagon released these videos originally recorded in 2004 and 2015. The Pentagon said it was releasing the videos to clear up any misconceptions, but said the mysterious objects observed in the videos remain unidentified. We reached out to a senior astronomer to see what he thinks this could mean for the future of extraterrestrial research.
The things to keep in mind about these videos are, yes, they're intriguing. If they weren't intriguing, they wouldn't have caused a stir. But being intriguing doesn't mean that they're alien craft. And one thing that really did strike me is that all these videos were made by the same camera system. The objects you see there could just be the exhaust pipes of airplanes in front of them. I mean, there are all sorts of possibilities. I think it's most likely to be instrumental personally, but I don't know.
And on our last show of the semester, let's take a look back at some of the best parts of what was a very different season of Annenberg TV News.
20,000 people paid tribute to Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. We take you to the emotional ceremony.
We both rested in peace and have fun in heaven until we meet again one day.
Artists throughout Los Angeles are honoring Kobe Bryant's life with a variety of murals.
I'm live right here at the Angel Stadium in Anaheim, where the first public memorial is being held to remember some of the victims of the helicopter crash.
Pete Buttigieg got personal at a town hall here on campus.
I'm here reporting live from the Las Vegas Strip on the 9th Democratic debate.
I am live here in Baldwin Hills, where just behind me, the former Vice President Joe Biden is scheduled to speak tonight.
And on Super Tuesday, the biggest night in primary politics.
It's been a big night for Joe Biden, and we're going to toss to him live right now.
There's nothing we can't do. This is about the future.
The World Health Organization has given the virus an official name, COVID-19.
I'm here at Tom Bradley International Airport.
Actually, I know that I have to keep my hands washing with warm water and do not touch my face.
LAX workers here at Terminal 4 will be handing out these bags filled with latex gloves, face masks, and hand wipes.
Junior Kayla Armida has been studying in Florence, Italy this semester, but she is choosing to leave early because of the outbreak.
Here in LA County, officials declared a state of emergency.
And universities across California and the country are moving classes online.
This is what the classroom environment is going to look like for USC students.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
We are reporting from our homes tonight. In fact, everybody at Annenberg Media is practicing social distancing.
Reporting from South Korea, I'm Alexander Song. Citizens of South Korea have been assigned certain days for when they can purchase protective masks depending on the last digit of their birth year.
This morning, we received an email saying that we can pick up face masks at our building's customer service center.
Evelyn Young is using its advanced 3D printing technology to produce face shields.
We spoke to a woman today who lives just outside of Paris about the strict measures that the French government has imposed.
You're allowed out once per day for a maximum of 1 hour. And you have this piece of paper that you have to kind of fill out that gives your address, your name, all your information.
Hundreds of protesters holding American flags and Trump banners protested in Huntington Beach and San Clemente.
Today on Questions in Quarantine, we ask, what are antibody tests and Why are they important?
Here's a story about one autistic young man and his mother who are home adjusting to the new normal.
We're back with another Swipe Up, our newest segment on Monday nights. I'm Monica Cooper, reporting from San Diego, California, and I'm here every week talking to a new social media creator.
Well, thank you for watching.
We will continue to post newscasts here on Annenberg Media's YouTube channel.
And for more coverage on COVID-19,
head to uscannenbergmedia.com. Have a good night.
So Genevieve, I can't believe this is our last show, but I really just want to say how proud I am for how well we've done throughout this crazy time. Just like to give a shout out to all the producers and all the other journalists who make this show possible. So I'm just really happy that this has happened.
Nathan, I could not have said it better. And it has been so great anchoring by your side, whether it be in the studio or across the country. We've somehow made it work, and I really, really enjoyed anchoring with you. And to all of you watching at home, thank you so much on behalf of everyone on Tuesday's ATVN crew. We'd like to thank you for tuning in all semester long. And for the last time this semester, I'm Genevieve Glass.
And I'm Nathan Hyun. ATVN will have one more show tomorrow, and the See It Live semester finale will air Thursday night. Have a good night, everyone.